not sure. Because it's 11 by my clock. That's slow, I see. Greetings, beloved ones, and welcome to Unity of Washington, D.C. and our hour of transformation. I'm so glad that you could be with us this morning and worship with us in this new format, for we are coming to you live. You know, I know these last few days have been challenging, perhaps. I know that they've been fast-paced and things have changed in the blink of an eye. We sent out information just explaining to people the coronavirus and what our intention was. And then a couple of days later, as things began to increase, we sent out another information for you, another video. And this one we said, well, maybe we will have church, but we're going to practice social distancing and some other things. I think that was maybe on Thursday. And then Friday evening, we got word that the mayor of the District of Columbia decided that there was going to be a ban of no gathering of people more than 250 persons in one place. And so the decision was made. We sent out a third email to let you know that we would be suspending our gathering together physically. But you know, this is such a powerful time because while we're not gathering physically, we now have an opportunity to gather together exponentially and to increase our ability to remain connected. But the point that I wanted to make was that in this fast-paced time of change, there's something that we need to be about. And unless we have the ability to be fluid in our approach to life, we probably are going to suffer. Because things are changing at such a pace that what was true yesterday may not be true today. What was needed yesterday may not be the thing that is needed today. And so if we're a type of person that is used to having structure, to having things organized in a particular way, to have things unfold, and now all of that seems to be disrupted, that we have to change and we have to do things differently. And it's unnerving. But if we could adopt a new normal, and the new normal has to do with our ability to be fluid, our ability to move, not only to be adaptable and flexible, but I like the word to be more fluid. You know I love definitions, and so I looked up this morning the definition of what it is to be fluid. And one of the definitions says, having fluid is having particles that easily move and change their relative position without a separation of the mass. I'll read that again. Particles that easily move and change their relative position without a separation of the mass, and that easily yield to pressure. That's a deep one. Easily yield to pressure. Capable of flowing. Likely or tending to change or move. Another definition for fluid is characterized by or employing a smooth, easy style. Smooth and easy as a style, as a way of being. And this third one says that to be fluid is to be available for a different use. I like that one too. Because when we get so rooted and grounded in our positions, in our beliefs, in our stance, in our perspective, it's hard when something new enters into our awareness and we struggle with a sense of conflict and resistance. Whereas if we were fluid, we'd be available for a different use, a different perspective, a different set of beliefs, a different understanding that enables us to move smoothly and easily, that we can actually yield under pressure. And we'd have to all agree that the times that we're living in right now are filled with a sense of pressure. People are experiencing anxiety and stress. But if we could adopt a new consciousness that says, I am a fluid being, I move with grace and ease, I'm able to adapt to the situation and to change my relative position in any given moment or time. And we can do that when we allow ourselves to get centered in the flow of life, recognizing that things are going to change and things are changing rapidly. Change is good. It's good when we understand that part of evolution is about moving, growing, expanding. Now, granted, we are under some interesting times, especially with this coronavirus. And we're even coming to you via live stream because we are not able to be present with each other physically. In fact, we're all encouraged to experience and to practice social distance. This is a new word, a new phrase, social distance. And I thought this is so interesting as well because we are social beings. As a species, we love to gather. We love to connect. We form families and tribes and clans and villages and communities and countries, nations. We love to somehow connect. And perhaps that's because of our early DNA, when to be separate and apart meant that you might not survive. That it was natural for us to come together so that we would survive. And now we hear that we are to come apart so that we can survive. An interesting play, don't you think? And while we are experiencing this sense of social distance, I think that it is also bringing us to a place where we are now having to connect on a different level. That is, to go deeper. That is, to connect through spirit, to connect through conscious intention. I find people are calling friends and family where you didn't call before to find out, how are you doing? Everything okay? We're getting back actually to the old days when we made a conscious effort to make sure that we were connected to friends, family, our community. And so we're using this social media, and I don't know how social it is, but I find it interesting that it's called social media. But this technology can serve us very well. While we are sensing a separation, a sense of separation and distance, through this technology, we can come together and still be with one another. And so I'm looking at what is happening now on a global scale that is causing all of us to pause, to stop, to be still, to come apart for a while, so that once again we can find our center. Once again we can recollect and come back to that deep sense of self, but the sense of self that is now a part of the greater community. The scripture says, be still and know that I am God. So one of the things that I think that this is about is that we have to learn how to be still once again, to come apart and to know what is of value, to know the divine, to know God, to be still and know that I am God. Because all of us have to recognize that there is a greater force at work. There is a greater energy at play that is joining all of us together. And even though we are now practicing social distance and we are coming apart from one another, at the very same time, we are experiencing a deeper connection because this condition, this virus, is powerful and it's no respecter of persons. It doesn't matter what your cultural background is. It doesn't matter how affluent you are. It doesn't matter how educated you are or not educated. It is no respecter of persons. And what this is helping us to see is that we are more connected than we have realized. That we belong to one another in a fashion that we haven't thought about perhaps for a long time. That actually something that took place in China can spread around the globe in an instant so that we all are affected by it in whatever country we exist in. There's a deeper thing happening here, and it's a part of what I call the global collective consciousness. I wanted to read about this new theory in physics called, it's the unified field theory, which says that everything in the universe is unified. Everything in the universe comes from a sense of collective oneness, that we are intricately tied to one another. All of life, whether it's the ecosystems, the animal kingdom, our humanity, the stars, the moon, everything in existence exists within a unified field. A unified field of energy, a unified field of consciousness, a unified field of oneness. And this is our opportunity to awaken to the truth that we are connected on a deeper level. And the gentleman who has been working with this unified field of consciousness and energy, stating that there's this one sense of intelligence, this one sense of consciousness that permeates all being and is the foundation of all being. His name is Dr. Hagelin. And I want to share some things of what he says about this unified field, and some call it superstring theory. And he says the consensus among leading theorists is that the unified field exists. These are physicists who are studying the nature of life and consciousness. He says, what we've discovered at the foundation of the universe is a universal field where all the forces and particles of nature are unified as one. They are ripples on a single ocean of existence. We're ripples in the wave of existence. And each of us, by our presence, by our thought, by our vibration, creates a ripple in the field of consciousness, in the field of being. And so he says, if this non-material field is the essence of everything, it is also the essence of individual and collective consciousness. If the unified field is at the core of everything, meaning everything is connected, and it's at the core of everything, it's even at the core of our bodies, he asks, is it also at the core, hidden deep within our own minds as well? And Dr. Hagelin says yes. And if we go deep enough in meditation, we can experience this core reality, this field of unity within. Now this is important because he's done research that says that when we consciously come together in mind, in thought, and in, let's say, the practice or technique of meditation, that there is a rippling effect. Not just what occurs within our own individual beings, but we are actually affecting the collective, the unified field of consciousness. It's very powerful. And then he says this, Although Western science currently has no commonly accepted understanding of consciousness to affirm or deny how it relates to the unified field, but for thousands of years, the world's great meditative traditions have identified its underlying power, the unifying mind and unifying matter together. And what he says is, our minds profoundly mirror the structure of nature, and that we can dive within to deeper levels of the mind, accessing more powerful levels of thought, and ultimately the unified field itself, the most powerful, limitless, universal level of our own consciousness. And so when we do this is one sentence that I love, that he says that when we are doing this, we can actually affect the consciousness of others. He says the power of group meditation has the power to change the social climate. You get that? The power of group meditation, which is individuals collectively aligning their thoughts, opening their hearts, and holding a certain vibration, has the ability to affect the social climate around them. And we say social climate, social consciousness as well. And he says, since the unified force field is an all-pervading field at the basis of consciousness and matter, when unity is enlivened in the individual, meaning when we get ourselves together in alignment, heart, mind, body, soul, that when the unity is enlivened in the individual, unity is enlivened everywhere. There is a field of consciousness, and he calls this is a field effect of consciousness. Now, it sounds all technical, but what it basically means is that, friends, there's power in the collective. Power in the collective consciousness, because we are all a part of this unified field of consciousness. And there are many, many levels. So as we go within and practice our own internal sense of peace and calm and stillness, not only do we delve deeper into our own field of being at one-ment and being in a place of one-ment, but that we actually then begin to transcend beyond our individual sense of oneness into the oneness of the all, into that field that connects us all. So we actually have an expanded consciousness of oneness, the expanded consciousness of the divine source, the creative source of all being, the knowingness of all. So we then are affecting all life by our very being. This is no small thing, and we are no small thing. We are magnificently made and intertwined and connected with the whole scheme, the matrix of life itself, and we have the power to affect change, transformation, growth, healing, wholeness, oneness. We can remember, this is what I think recollection is all about, to recollect into the consciousness and the remembrance of who we are, and to transcend even our individual sense of self into the greater expanded sense of oneness, and how this sense of oneness is unfolding in the manifest world. So we can bring about healing, we can bring about wholeness, but we must learn to then use our sense of connection for the higher purpose. So I'm encouraging us to do more prayer, but not prayer as a method of panic. We're not praying because we're panicking. We're not praying because fear has taken over, but we are praying now with purpose. We are to pray with conscious, focused energy, directed for the healing of humanity, the healing of ourselves, for divine protection, for the unified force and field of oneness to be manifested through us, through the individual and through the collective. We have this ability. This is ours. This is what it means to be a conscious, awakened being. We are so blessed on this planet, and we have a responsibility to take care of each other because we belong to one another. We belong to the trees, to the plants, to the animal kingdom. We belong to all of it. And because we are at a certain level or plane of consciousness or in the field of existence, we're not necessarily the plant kingdom and or the animal kingdom, or that we are humanity, spiritual kingdom. And so as a responsible awakened being, we can use the power of the collective to heal the ills that we are experiencing today in our individual lives. And yes, as we transcend the individual and we go deep within, we then affect the collective. That's a powerful experience to be. So when you are spending time at home in social distance, you are actually having the ability to go within and to put forth light, powerful prayers, sacred intentions for the safety and the manifestation of wholeness on the planet, oneness on the planet, love on the planet, of these higher values and beliefs and principles that we all know and say we ascribe to. Now is the time for us to use it. Now is the time for us to express it. Now more than ever before is the time for us to come together as a collective body, as a collective species, to move and advance ourselves forward in healthy, productive ways. What a sacred, blessed time this is for us. We could use it to fall into fear and doubt, or we can use it as taking the step forward in our evolutionary growth by coming together in a unified field of conscious action, conscious thought, connected thoughts, right? Connected energy. We are waves, particles and waves in this vibrational field, this unified field. And every thought you think sends a wave out. Every thought every feeling that you have sends that wave and it ripples out. So why not, as light bearers, true students, people of faith, why don't we send out ripples of love, ripples of truth, ripples of healing and wholeness and connection? This is ours to do. This is our shining moment. Around the world, we are being called to step up higher. And so I'm encouraging all of us to take time, this time that we are coming apart for a while, and to meditate. Because when you become aligned with the good that is, with the pervading presence of the all being, of the allness and the isness that is God, the divine, whatever you want to call it. But when we take a moment to align with that, we send forth powerful ripples that will change the trajectory of our evolutionary growth. This is a call for us to wake up and say, we can do this. This is our time and our moment to do this. So send forth love, send forth peace. Connect if you're home, connect with your family. Call your friends, see how they're doing. Check on a neighbor. Send love and light to the planet. Send love and light to those who might be experiencing illness. Send out the highest vibration that you can, because there's power in the collective. And that collective energy, it moves within to the individual and it moves from the individual. So there's a flow. We receive the good and we want to put the good vibration out into the collective so that those who are seeking it can feel that vibration. Those who are in fear, those who are experiencing lack and limitation can catch a new thought, can catch a new vibration that, wait a minute, there's the abundance in the universe. Wait a minute. There's wholeness in the universe and health in the universe and peace in the universe. Let me catch those vibrations. And we put them forth. As we put it forth, Others catch it and we are able to receive it, and then we put forth again. And we take in from the collective and we give out to the collective. We are fluid. You see, we're not static beings, we're fluid in our position, fluid in our beliefs, fluid in our understanding. But what we are doing is we're moving with grace and ease, not fear and trepidation, grace and ease. So I'm going to invite you to take this time to really bless this world, bless all of us, because as I become unified within my being, as I become still within my being, as I find that place of peace and assurance, I begin to vibrate. And that simple vibration allows someone else to catch that feeling, to catch that thought. And they too enter into the field, that unified field. Wait, peace is possible. Healing is possible. And so we have a call. We're coming together for this sacred purpose of understanding who we really are and what this time is signifying. And so we're boldly going to continue to do the work of peace, to do the work of establishing power, and to not live in fear. We will have some things that we must do in the outer. We will prepare. We will take note to do the outer activities, whether it's washing our hands, keeping our social distance from people, being sacred in our intention. Yes, we must do all of that. But the primary thing to do is to let that peace, that presence, that power that you are begin to take root in your being, so that all of your actions are not coming from fear, they're coming from faith. It's not coming from panic, it's coming from purpose. We are called to a higher purpose, this purpose of oneness. And so I'd like us to take a few moments to harness the energy through meditation, through sacred intention. And again, meditation, for those of you who may or may not be experienced in meditation, it is simply taking your capacity to open the heart and to think on those higher thoughts and to rest your consciousness upon something that is pleasant and truthful. Peace, harmony, love, light, understanding. And in this instance, wholeness, health, oneness. So I'm going to invite you to take a few moments now and to allow yourself to find that comfortable place where you can get still and you can rest within your own being, so that we can experience this sense of the collective unified force as we will hold the sacred intention for peace and healing and wholeness throughout this planet, so that every soul, every individual may pick up that vibration and that thought, and we can eradicate any semblance of a coronavirus or any other type of virus. So just begin to find that place within and breathe deeply. And as we do every Sunday here at Unity, we affirm a prayer called the Great Invocation. And this is our ability to send forth the ripples of peace, to speak our truth for the world, for humanity, and to put forth these high ideals into the unified field of consciousness. So those of you who know it, you can affirm it. But I want you to just listen as I read these words, and listen with an open heart. Let the music play, but listen with an open heart. Feel the vibration of these words and send forth this conscious intention for our world today. And it reads as thus: from the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. Think about that. From the point of light, let light stream forth into human minds. Visualize light streaming forth into every heart, every mind, every person. Feel that vibration of those thoughts flowing throughout the globe, touching every soul. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into human hearts. May love increase on earth. See love streaming forth from the center of your own being as a divine energy, as a high vibration, and streaming forth into all human hearts. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. See, there's the center in the unified field of consciousness, in the presence of God, in that place where we all exist as one. From that center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. We are praying with purpose for our world. We are praying with purpose that the divine idea of health and wholeness and oneness is now being established on the planet, so that every soul is responding to the healing energy of the divine. From the center which we call the human race, that is the collective consciousness, the unified field of good, let the plan of love and light work out. And may it seal the door where error dwells. Let the plan of love and light now be unleashed upon the planet, and may it seal the door where error dwells, where there's any sense of separation, any invalidation of our brothers and sisters. Let all of that fade into nothingness, so that all that remains is this plan of love and light working out in the consciousness of all souls, all beings. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. So let us just take a moment now and go deep within, allowing us to touch our hearts and to feel this sacred divine love, this energy that permeates within the universe, this energy that connects us all together. Let us feel this sacred energy as the one presence and the one power that resides within all of us. And from this place of oneness, from this place of power, we create a sacred intention to put forth love and light on the planet, that we might heal together, that we might express wholeness together, that we might lift ourselves up and move into a new stratosphere, a new state, a new paradigm of bringing heaven upon the earth with divine connection, This is our task. This is our vision. This is our promise, our potential. So just rest for a moment in the sacred place of your own heart. I am open-hearted. I am a radiating center of love and light. And the whole power of the universe flows through my being now. The whole power and potential of the divine flows through my being now. My consciousness is one with the one. My consciousness is elevated beyond the self to the collective self, the divine self, the divine presence that is permeating the life upon this planet. Every soul is blessed. Every living thing is being healed and transformed into a new expression. In the moments of silence, we transcend the self and we stand in the presence of the divine essence of God within the midst of us, flowing to us and through us. We are fluid. We are bringing love and light into the world. So just begin to take a deep, deep breath. And once again, take another deep, deep breath. Let it move throughout your body, bringing that healing vibration, the vibration of light that gives life to the body, to the mind, to the heart, to the soul. And offer your gratitude and your thanksgiving. Thank you, thank you. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen and amen. Beloved ones, I'm so glad to be with you today and that you have tuned in and joined us in the collective. We have work to do and we'll meet again, perhaps next Sunday, through the virtual world of social media. But we are meeting really in the collective. So we're thankful that you're here. We continue to hold everyone in prayer, purposeful prayer, affirmative prayer, prayer that is the truth that will set us free. I invite you also to remember that we are here as a beacon of light, that this is a spiritual community that is open to all souls who are seeking the love and the light of the divine. And we are a community, we are a family, we are a clan, we are a tribe, we're a village, we're a country, we're a nation. We are in the collective consciousness of the universe. But as we are showing up as Unity of Washington, D.C., I'm going to invite you to continue to remember us and to please, if you can go to our website and Send in your tithes or love offerings if you're so moved to do that, because we're still here and we will be here throughout this experience. You can send your tithes in. I'm almost by mailing it in. You can go onto our website, I think, and hope that the information is up on the screen. But you can mail it in to 1225 R Street, Unity of Washington, D.C., or you can go to our website, which is unityofwashingtondc.org. Unityofwashingtondc.org, and you can donate online as well or through our PayPal experience, whatever way is convenient for you. But we appreciate and are grateful and thankful for all that you do and for joining us in this collective conscious environment of reaching now out beyond our literal walls into the world so that we can truly create a wave of peace, a wave of love, and a wave of healing energy and vibration. I'm delighted to be with you. Once again, I'm Reverend Sylvia Sumter, and I hope you'll join us next week. In the meantime, keep the consciousness high. Wash your hands. Be blessed. Thank you, and namaste.